Okay, folks, here we are. I have been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time, probably about 2 years now. I can remember hearing rumors back in 2018 how RED was going to drop the first affordable prosumer RED camera. It was going to be so prosumer that they were going to have it on the shelves at Best Buy. So this is pretty nuts. Without further ado, let's get into this. Whew. Okay. Oh, whoa, holy moly. All right, boys and girls, there she be. This is one of the accessories I got. I got the outrigger handle for record control. I did read a lot of things that the record button is kind of in a precarious place on the Stormtrooper, well, the Komodo rather, so yeah, by the way, the thumbnail, I don't think lies. I feel like I'm pretty dang sure this is literally probably one of the very last Stormtroopers that came off the thing. Either way, I'm just super stoked to be able to have a RED camera. Oh man, yeah, cool. This is pretty exciting for me. I mean, I know that because I'm the last in the line to get the Stormtrooper, and you know, just a lot of stuff's been going on. I was away shooting a documentary and stuff over the summer when these things first started getting released to the LA crowd anyways, and I was already well out of town. Yeah, okay, let's just open this bad boy up. It's been a long time since I bought a camera brand new like this. Usually I buy them opened box kind of deals. Woo! Hey, nice texture. Nice texture on the box even. I mean, yeah, it kind of has that like, that feel, you know, if you close your eyes, all it's missing is the cool temperature of a Komodo or a snake, you know, it kind of has that snake texture. If they could find a way to make the box chilled, it would be really interesting. You would feel like you're actually touching a reptile. All right, here we go. Bada boom, bada bing. So I'm sure you guys have already seen this well enough. This is the diagram, you know, launch sequence. So that's pretty rad. Just kind of walking you through all the different ways to do it. Over here we have the little card. So yeah, this is because there is a RED control for this camera exclusively. I've already downloaded the app in anticipation of getting this bad boy. The eye of the beholder is often colorblind. Holy shit, that's hilarious. I really am colorblind. That's hilarious. The eye of the beholder is often colorblind, and Justin Phillip is colorblind. You heard it here, folks. Yeah, it's not, well, my eye doctor did say it was the worst case of colorblindness she's ever seen, but it's not like I'm like a cat. I only see black and white. It's not that crazy. But yeah, definitely, you know, when I was in high school, I had to memorize the order of the green, red, and yellow lights because they all look so similar. So yeah, I failed my driving test 3 times. All right, let's get into this. Oh my God. Oh my God, it is tinier than what? Oh my God, it's so, oh my God, that's hilarious. It's way tinier than what I anticipated. Whoa, that is cool. I don't know why, the pictures make it look much bigger. This thing is, you know, it's funny too. I even like downloaded the spec sheet, like the designs, you know, that the first piece that leaked on this camera was like the blueprint specs of all the measurements of this thing. And like, so I knew how tiny it was, but I didn't know how tiny it was. That was my Bill and Ted moment right there. This thing is super rad. Man, this is so killer. This is so killer. I want to talk a little bit about this, you know, because, you know, if you're on the channel, you guys know that I have a pretty long acting career. There's been plenty of commercials that I've been in that were shot on RED, as well. There's been plenty of films that I've been in that were shot on RED, right? And so that's kind of where this whole like kind of I don't want to say obsession, but you know, this kind of like admiration of the RED color science and of the RED sensor kind of stems from. And then in 2017, I jumped behind the camera, but back then I was only able to afford the things that a beginner can afford, which was Blackmagic design, right? I mean, if you're looking for a real cinema camera, that's what a little guy like me could get his hands on. So that's what I did. I started on the first original Blackmagic pocket cinema camera, the Super 16, and then as you all know, because of the channel, I have the Pocket 4K now. But this is rad. This allows me, because it is so affordable, it allows me to really, just like Phil Holland said, for the little guys, it's our stepping stone to jump in with the big dogs. And it really is, it's really rad. And I kind of like that they call it the Komodo, because the Komodo is a little baby dragon. And so now I can be a little baby dragon. But the biggest selling thing about this particular camera for me, that no one, well, I feel like, yeah, I shouldn't say no one. People are definitely talking about it, but not enough people are talking about it, and that's the global shutter. That's the game changer for me, the global shutter. And if you guys follow the channel, you know that I have a huge background in skateboarding. I've been skateboarding since I was 13 years old. I was a competitive skateboarder in high school. So you can plan on seeing a lot of skate videos on this channel going forward, because global shutter is huge, and not just for extreme sports, but it's also a big deal for anything if you ever even have to do a simple whip pan. So, you know, take whatever little camera you have and go outside and put on your tripod and do a little whip pan and hello Jello, my old friend, right? So I feel like, to me, that is the biggest selling point of this camera. The global shutter is huge, but also there is a brand new sensor in this camera. This isn't just like, oh, we're gonna make a little crash cam, let's just recycle all of our old R3D sensors and throw it in there. No. That's not what this is. This is a newly designed sensor. So it's also like a little bit, maybe a little bit of a sneak peek preview of those DSM-C3 bodies, you know? So it's really rad to be on the forefront of this, and it's really rad that, you know, RED has kind of, you know, made it so affordable. I'll tell you how late to the game I am on the Stormtrooper is because when I've been posting little sneak peeks of the box and the invoice and all of that on my Instagram story, by the way, it's at KidTech, K-I-D-D Tech, people have been messaging me like crazy on Instagram and Facebook saying, what, how did you get it already? He just opened the email list. I'm like, oh man, they think I'm getting the black one first. That's how far behind I am on this Stormtrooper list, but still, I'm super excited. Let me look and see what the serial number is on this. 1153. I'm number 1153, you know, but someone on the Facebook forum did say that you can't count on them, on the serial numbers being in actual sequential order. So we'll never really know who got the true last Stormtrooper, but now it's opened. So go to red.com, get on there, put your email in there, and you'll be notified as soon as the black ones become available, which I think are gonna be available within the next 3 or 4 weeks. So you might wanna jump on that. But yeah, look forward for a lot of stuff happening with this camera, not only on the channel, but on my paid gigs too, because believe it or not, folks, I do get hired to do freelance jobs as an owner operator. So yeah, I am super excited to look this little, the little Komodo dragon. Okay, yeah, let's open the outrigger handle. Now this will be rad too. Nice. This also has the reptile skin. Okay, ooh, there we go. There we go. Look out, darkness. Here we go. Yeah, I'm glad that I jumped on this one. I'm glad. The trigger record is a must. What's funny though is that all the Dtaps, all the power to Dtap cables are on back order. Even the 6-foot long ones. So, but luckily I do have a couple BP 955 batteries that I can throw on here and we can start playing around, because I do want to play around with the app a little bit and show you guys that. So let's take a break right now so I can kind of assemble this thing, because I have 1 or 2 other accessories with it. Obviously I have tons of smallRig parts, and obviously I have Cfast cards because I use them in my Blackmagic as well. So. Okay folks, we are back and I updated the firmware. I got into the elite Facebook group. It's just the private group for Komodo owners because if you guys don't know, the Stormtroopers were all considered beta testers. However, at this point in the game, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even call myself a tester at this point. I'm just so, these Komodos have been rolled out for 3 months now at least. So yeah, I'm definitely in the last in line, but I do have beta firmware 1.2.2 now into this bad boy. And of course, moving forward, I'll always update you guys if I change the firmware. And I want to show the app as well, but I also want to talk about a little bit about my build here. So I do have the outrigger handle on here. This is not really what I'm going to be doing. This is just for here on now. And I forgot to throw on my top handle. So I have 3 accessories that are not here yet. They're on back order. So one of them is the tilt the top handle, the one that flips all around. I've been calling it the tilt the scorpion handle. I don't know the actual name for it, but it was actually made for this Komodo because a lot of problems is that the Komodo is the top screen only. So with the, it has a rosette on this tilt the top handle, right? So that's why I got this NATO bar with the Rosette adapter. So then that tilt the top handle go on there and I can flip it around. I can have it on the side, I can have it on the top, whatever I want. And then I'll have my monitor on here. So this what you're looking at right here is the configuration with my Blackmagic 12G HDR video assist on the top. I've done lots of videos on this and I have this 12G SDI cable. I have a couple of these. It's mini or micro BNC to normal size BNC. And the 12G SDI, that's a feature of the HDR video assist that is slept on a lot. And I tried to hit it over the head on the last video I did of, it's called the best monitor of 2020. I'll have a link here and down in the description below if you haven't seen that yet. And I know it may be blasphemy to put a Blackmagic product, a Blackmagic monitor on a RED camera, but I just love that 12G HDR video assist. And I've had small HDs, I've had port keys, I've had the gamut, and people send me monitors all the time. I'm always testing out monitors, and it doesn't matter what other monitors I look at, nothing compares to that 12G HDR video assist. Blackmagic are not paying me to say that. I bought that monitor with my own money, all $900 of it. So it's not a cheap monitor by any means, but why I love it so much is because it has the option to record proxies, right? You can get 422 10-bit ProRes HQ proxy files onto little miniature SD cards, and that really comes in handy for any time when your internal media fails. Now, I do have approved media cards for the RED Komodo. I have Angel Bird Cfast. However, my batteries are not RED approved, and the camera does make sure and tell me that. And the biggest bummer about it is that I don't get to monitor the battery life. For whatever reason, the Canon batteries that fit the Komodo are like really hard to find right now, I guess because 1,000 people have been running around with the Stormtrooper, right? However, I do have the core SXW RED approved V-mount base plate for this bad boy, but it's also on back order. So I'm waiting for those things to come. And then also when it was announced is the Kipper tie adapter mount. It's like a Cine lock, like a PL hybrid so all of my EF lenses will be locked in here. I'm not really a PL guy, I can't afford that. But if I ever need to rent PL lenses, obviously you can just rent the PL adapter as well. Because on my Pocket 4K, I have the Metabones Ultra Cine lock. For all of you, you already know this, I talk about it all the time, but I love having that Cine lock speed booster because it locks it in there. It's a positive lock mount, right? And I did read on the forums that there is a little bit of play with this EF to EOS R adapter, and it is a little bit. It's not as bad as some of what I was anticipating, but it is still there a little bit. So it will be nice because the Kipper tie not only has the mount, the positive lock, but it also has a little foot, and that'll help secure it even more. I don't really plan on going the cage route with this because I'm a little bit of a minimalist. This top handle is just in here as a stand-in until I get that tilted top handle that I was talking about. So I'll have the tilted top handle. This won't be here. The monitor will be on top with the SmallRig NATO tilt mount and my outrigger handle. And you know what, I was telling my wife this too. This is how I tend to shoot. Even like I just got back over the summer shooting for like 3.5 weeks on a documentary, and we were shooting on the Canon C500 Mark II. And even with that thing, I'm always just kind of doing this waist kind of hold with the camera, and it's just how I like to shoot. I don't like being up on the shoulder or any of that kind of stuff. So I think just having the top mount monitor is pretty cool. But yeah, so this is just a temporary build. I mean, I guess you could do like this if you needed, you know, some double stabilization going on here, but I don't really plan on doing that. This is all kind of stand-in. But this right here, if you're wondering, this is a Zeiss ZF2. This is what I call my Revenant lens, or the Stranger. It's a 15mm f2.8. I've done a whole video on my Zeiss lens set. They've all been modded out by Simod Lens, a wonderful service. Ron Sim is a wonderful, talented DP. And yeah, if you haven't seen the video, I recommend you check it out. I'll be a link here and down in the description below. But this is a badass lens, and this is kind of my go-to for skateboarding or anything like that. 15mm is no joke. Okay, so this is the Sound Design Mix Pre 3, and it actually fits pretty nicely up under the Komodo. This was recommended by over on one of the Komodo Facebook groups, but it's also been recording audio for this YouTube video. So you guys will have to let me know if you've been noticing any improvements in the YouTube videos. Okay folks, so something interesting that I've just found out with the Wi-Fi, with the app, is that I had to put my phone into airplane mode. And it does say in the app where it is recommended sometimes to turn off the cellular network. And that's exactly what I had to do. I could not even pull up the Komodo in the app until I turned my phone into airplane mode. And as soon as I did that, then the app instantly recognized the Komodo. So that was interesting. So might be one of those cases, maybe it's just a firmware thing, or it could be one of those things like, I used to do this, I used to have one of those iPod touches just for all of my camera apps. And this may be one of those scenarios where, you know, if you still need access to your phone, maybe you need like an additional device. I don't know, that's interesting, but that could just be the area I'm in and maybe the building I'm in, I don't know. Okay, so you can instantly access that, you tap that, you go into buttons that you can assign, or then you go there and you can see what's on your screen. That's just an eye light, by the way, don't get it twisted. This is really what's going on here. This is a 4x4 magic cloth. Let me throw on my Sigma Art cliche lens, and then we can play around with the tap to autofocus. I just found out something cool. So with the generic batteries, I cannot see their status on the Komodo screen, but on the app, as you'll see here, you can see, and they are very, very low. And that's because I didn't get a charger with them. So the Komodo is the only way to charge them. Here we go, autofocus beta. All right, I'm in here. I'm gonna enable the autofocus beta. Now again, this Sigma lens is the only lens I have with autofocus. All of my lenses are manual lenses. It's just how I roll. Okay, but this is cool. You can do mode, single or continuous. That's nice. Now what's cool about this has I think there's a little bit of Canon autofocus technology in here. I feel like I read that somewhere. So this is pretty rad. Okay, so let's start it. There it went right there, right on the camera. You saw it happen right there. And then let me see, I can pull this around. We'll go to our, there's not much, I mean, let me see. Let me go in tighter so we can switch focus here. We'll go from my eye light. There it goes. From the eye light to the camera. How do you do it on the phone? I see, you gotta tap, you gotta drag, then tap. Let me pull out real quick. Let me see if I can get it to go on my hats back there on the back wall. Tap, drag, boom. Hey, tap, drag to the eye light, tap, drag to the hats. Hey, that's not bad actually. Yeah, I mean, I've never been big into autofocus, but I think this will be pretty interesting, especially if there's like tracking mode in here too. I think what I'm gonna do is, yeah, so you can put the position in there. Oh, so you can position where to put the little square. So that's pretty rad. You can change the size of the square from small, medium, large, wide, vertical. Vertical, that's cool. So maybe I might experiment with doing some skate videos with the Sigma Art. I mean, it does go as wide as an 18mm, so that's pretty rad as well. Yeah, okay, I think I've talked enough and shown enough for today's video. I think I just want to have some time alone now. Okay, so as always, thank you so much. All of my Patreon people, be on the lookout. We are diving back into the behind the scenes journey. If you're new here, please consider tapping that subscribe button. because, you know, if history has taught us anything, I definitely did tons of tests and reviews on the Pocket 4K, and I have advanced in my cinematography skills quite a bit since I've owned that Pocket 4K, and so I imagine the tests and things will be hopefully even better with this little bad boy. And of course, we're gonna be doing a lot of fun things with that global shutter. So we'll see you in the next one.